President Trump's social media post last month calling for his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to prosecute his political opponents, James Comey, Letitia James, and Adam Schiff. Crime is down in both Chicago and Portland.
Crime is down in Chicago and Portland, often because they're so overwhelmed at the local level, they're not even keeping the statistics.
All right, guys, I have to come clean. I lied to you in the last video. We're not doubling down. We're tripling down, unfortunately, on JD Vance today. He also went on Meet the Press, and he's really bad at this, so he's fun to debunk. This time he's talking about crime, political weaponization. So strap in, leave us a like on the video. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you, and let's get right to it.
NBC News is covering and has confirmed that President Trump's social media post last month calling for his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to prosecute his political opponents, James Comey, Letitia James, and Adam Schiff, was actually meant to be a private message. Both Comey and James have now been indicted. Is the Department of Justice acting on orders from the president to prosecute his political opponents with the final 30 seconds we have left?
No, we're driven by the law and the facts of the case. I think if you look at the case, the fact that a far-left grand jury in a far-left area indicted Letitia James and James Comey, if you look at the fact that James Comey obviously lied under oath, Letitia James obviously committed mortgage fraud, what we're doing is letting the law drive the prosecution decisions in the Department of Justice.
The problem here is when you also have Tom Homan on video taking $50,000 as a bribe, and yet Trump said, nah, don't investigate that anymore, and then publicly directed his DOJ to instead go after the Democrats, and then fired prosecutors who refused to do so because they said there was not enough evidence for this. With Letitia James specifically, this definitely gets tossed out as selective prosecution. Not only are there multiple members in Trump's cabinet, his labor secretary, for a specific example, with the exact same type of two-home example they're trying to use to pin her down on, of which they're not prosecuting, of course, but we also know, again, a career prosecutor looked at this case, said nothing was there. We know Trump posted on Truth Social, go after this specific person, and then they did, and Trump fired the prosecutor who went and had to put in a lawyer list. But like, guys, they're just following the law. They're not following Trump's direction. Like when Trump openly uses fraudulent electors in 7 states to steal the 2020 election and gets indicted in relation to it, and we have the fraudulent electors, we have the fraudulent slates, we have the emails where the Trump administration was directing this, but he gets indicted for it. That's a witch hunt. But this is on the up and up. It's genuinely just pathetic to hear at this point.
Couple of points here. First of all, an Illinois judge said that state and local authorities have been able to handle protest activity, that ICE, that other federal agencies have been able to continue to do their work. Crime is down in both Chicago and Portland. But is there a rebellion here? That's what would trigger an insurrection act. Is it imminent?
Kristen, crime is down in Chicago and Portland, often because they're so overwhelmed at the local level, they're not even keeping the statistics.
I mean, like, he's annoyingly pathetic, right? It's not just me. He's literally saying you can't trust any statistics but ours. That's genuinely what he's going with the straight face here. But even then, it's don't trust our numbers when they're bad, like the job loss numbers, because then we'll fire the person and call it a hoax and they're woke and, you know, they were in on it or something. So only trust our statistics and only trust them when they make us look good. And then when they come from our vetted sources who are using our vetted scripts that we approved and wrote ourselves. Crime in Chicago is at historic lows. It's not at historic lows because there's so much crime that they can't even document the crime. Is that like how, like, what? Some of these conservatives need to touch grass and maybe like go to a big city, right? Trump was literally fooled by a video of 2020 Portland as a reason to send the National Guard there. Like you can't lie. Like we have the tape of him falling for that. And judges have sided with the locality's ability to handle this, like in terms of the enforcement without the federal overreach. There's no truth in any of what he's saying. It's actually so devoid of substance that his literal point is actually everyone but us is lying.
I want to play you a little bit of what President Trump had to say about shutdowns past when Barack Obama was president. Take a look.
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the President of the United States.
They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate. I really think the pressure is on the president.
If you were president, what would you do?
Well, very simply, you have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The president has to lead. You have to get the people in a room and you have to get a deal.
Mr. Vice President, by President Trump's own calculus, The pressure is on him to get everyone into a room and get a deal, is it not?
Well, Kristen, I wouldn't focus on the political pressure to get a deal. We really don't care what the poll numbers say.
But what about what President Trump said?
What's good for the
what
American
about what
people.
Mr. Trump said, his own words?
Well, Kristen, the president was talking back then when Barack Obama was president about the political realities. We are focused now on the governing realities because
It's just special pleading. Oh, we're different because we're a special case and things are different now that make it special. That's why we're axing federal workers who respond to measles and other diseases, those who help disabled students with like various things in regard to their education journeys and more. It's all because they care so much about America. That's why everyone but them is lying. Isn't it obvious? The rich people here actually care about the workers, and those speaking on behalf of the workers only care about the wealthy. That's why the left is evil. I mean, it's such just an old song and dance. I don't even have respect for these people anymore. I can't even hide it, right? Like, from a guy who's also just so piss poor at delivering it, I just can't take it serious anymore. And I just hope like this is who the Republicans run in 2028, so we could have like a 50 state landslide for the Democrats.